Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We bring you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Bea Diaz-Fabros. In tonight's Game Plan, we'll break down yesterday's big games in the PBA Governors Cup while looking ahead to the final game day of the elimination round.
Then, Jello Vito and Coach Willie Wilson will help us hand out the awards to the best dark horses in the NBA. And we'll get a sneak peek of how our favorite PVL teams are training for the upcoming 2022 Open Conference. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. We are 1 day away from the end of the PBA elimination round, and yesterday's games did not disappoint. Let's take a look at some of the results here. First of all, 127-107 for the TNT Tropang Giga against the Terra Firma Jeep. This result ensures that they make it into the playoffs. It was a must-win for them. They got the job done. 24 points and 12 rebounds for Aaron Fuller. Mikey Williams with 16, 4, and 6. Moving on to the next game, Blackwater against the Magnolia Hotshots. That is the result that many fans have been waiting for. Blackwater Bossing finally getting a win, ending a 29-game losing streak. Sean Glover with 33-9, Ray Suerte with 16-5, including the game-winning block, the game-saving block, rather. Joining us to discuss the recent games while looking ahead to his own team's upcoming matchup is PBA champ and Phoenix Fuel Masters assistant, Coach Willie Wilson. Coach, long time no see. Welcome back.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like I was just here yesterday.
Yeah, no, something like that.
One day turned host, next day turned analyst.
He does everything.
I know.
He does everything, apparently.
So, Coach Willie, let's just take a look at what transpired as what Pao mentioned earlier in yesterday's PBA game, starting off with TNT Tropang Giga. Now, they extended their winning streak to 4 games when they beat Terra Firma, and they're known to be an outside shooting team, but this time they loaded it down low in the middle, outscoring Terra Firma 74-42. How dangerous is this team when everything is clicking for them?
Oh, well, they're extremely dangerous. They have a champion coach internationally and, in the country. So you give him a full arsenal, which they have. They're getting healthy. They got the import that they need, who does the dirty work down low, gets the rebounds, the putbacks, finishes in the paint. And I mean, all it is just a little bit of gelling, and they're off to the races.
I think Bea described it right a while ago when we were talking about the outside shooting of TNT. They're known for that, but then what does this say about the versatility of this team, knowing that they can pound the paint like they did in the last game?
Well, as a coach, you game plan for the team that you're playing against and what they do best. You want to take away what they do best and make them rely on their weaknesses or what they don't do as well. If we're talking about Talking Tex and we're saying that they are an outside shooting team, more guard dominant, then all of a sudden they start beating teams up in the paint. You give teams a quandary. What do we prepare for? Do we prepare for their guards, or do we prepare to protect the paint?
Well, good for Coach Chot Reyes and the Talking Tex team that they were able to adjust in game yesterday against Terra Firma. But let's go on to the next game, the most talked about game. Blackwater Bossing finally ending that 29-game winning streak after more than 1 year, and what I may say would be, a crazy nail-biting game winner for Blackwater. Talk us through what you were feeling also as a PBA fan, even watching that game.
Well, you know what? We all are happy. We're all happy for the players of Blackwater. I mean, they got their import. Glover came in. He delivered a great all-around performance. But for me, the story of the game is JV Kasha. He's a proven winner all throughout college. Comes to the PBA, does the same thing. For him to get on that Blackwater team and lead the team and pretty much coach the team to that win, my hat's off to JV Kasha.
Lots of young guys on that team, and I'm sure they're learning a lot from JV Kasha. But I think we should move on to coach's
let's talk
team
about
right
his
here.
team himself.
Yeah, because we gotta preview them.
That's right. So Phoenix Fuel Masters, you have your last game tomorrow, and the fate is now in your hands to be able to make the playoffs. How has your preparation been so far for tomorrow's game?
Well, our preparation has been very, very positive. We've laid the foundation for our game plan against Morocco, and we know their strengths. We know what little tiny weaknesses that they have, and hopefully that game plan that we put together will all come together and click during the game.
Coach, you have a new import in Devon Maxwell going into this one. He's already played a game, but how difficult was it to actually integrate a key piece in an import at such a late stage of conference?
Well, you look at Devon Maxwell. He's a veteran import. He's played in various leagues around the world. When you have that type of experience as an import, it doesn't really take much as long as there's transparency. And with this coaching staff on Phoenix that we have the utmost transparency. So we tell you exactly what we want from you, what we expect from you. And as a professional, it's your job to go out there and perform.
I like how he, bumped up the coaching staff of
That's
Phoenix.
right.
It's like he's part of it, but
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
But Coach Willie, talking about this import Devon Maxwell, he had a great debut, 21-21 up against Alaska. And Coach Topix Robinson actually mentioned that he may just be that gem, even if he's the third import late in the conference changing, he may just be the right gem for you guys in your playoff run.
Yeah, well, definitely. You look at the numbers, 21 and 21. But aside from the points and rebounds, it's the intangibles that don't show up in the stats. The leadership that he provides, the communication. One Hall of Fame NBA player was very, very famous for being that communicator. His name was Kevin Garnett. Again, anytime you have your back line, your rim protector, communicating and directing to all your players, all your teammates, where to go, where to be, that's invaluable.
We mentioned a while ago about how your faith is in your hands right now. And just for the sake of clarity for all of the PBA fans out there, we're going to bring up the standings just to show everyone where everything stands. So when you look at how things work out, a victory basically secures you a seat in the playoffs. A loss means that your fate will be decided by the next game. TNT
We don't want that, Coach.
No, we don't.
We
We definitely do not want that.
No one wants that, Coach. But then, can you talk about the mentality going into this one? Because obviously, it's probably the highest pressure game that you have of the conference so far.
Well, you know what? The biggest thing for the players, and we remind them all the time, is control what you can control. Okay? What happens to the game after is not under your control. You talked about it. Our fate is in our own hands. There's pressure in all walks of life, okay? They're just out there. We're out there just playing a basketball game, putting the ball in the hoop, which is obviously easier said than done.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about pressure and perspective and context, that's just a little tiny bit of pressure. So try to give them that, and that'll ease the pressure.
I love it. Wise words from Coach Willie.
Absolutely. I like how he said that putting the ball in the hoop is easier said than done, because if it were easy, I would be playing like the both of you did. But that's not the case. Anyway, Coach Willie's not going away. And also, don't forget to catch the last game day of the PBA Governors Cup elimination round tomorrow at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. The Phoenix Fuel Masters face the Morocco Bolts at 3 p.m., while Northport Batangier go head-to-head with TNT Tropang Giga in the curtain closer at 6 p.m. After the break, Jello Vito and Coach Willie Wilson help us hand out the awards to the best dark horses in the NBA. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back to the game. As we are always a fan of the NBA, be sure not to miss the action this Monday. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies take on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the OKC Thunder. Then LeBron James and the Lakers battle Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. As the excitement grows approaching the playoffs, it's time for us to talk about NBA dark horses. Joining us are four-time UAAP champion Willie Wilson and Mr. Hot Takes himself, Jello Vito. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the game.
Jello's here.
Ayaw mo ba,
here.
Pao? Ayaw
No,
mo ba?
oh my God. You know, mapapaaway tayo dito eh.
UP fight.
Oh.
UP fight.
We're only gonna
Alright.
fight. We're only gonna fight. All
Okay,
right,
guys.
Bae, get us going. I have no idea what's gonna happen
I know,
here, by
so
the way.
Pao does not know what's
No.
going to happen. But
No.
basically, we will be having our NBA Dark Horses Awards. And we have our own individual awards, which we got from you guys previously. So you guys will explain why you guys chose them. And Pao, kukonta ka lang.
Okay.
Or pati ka naman din mag-agree. Pero given na nandito si Pao, hindi ko lang sure.
Hindi ka mag-agree.
Si
Hindi
Jello,
ka
hindi ko lang sure.
When will I
Alright,
ever?
so let's start things off with the Dark Horse MVP Award.
Okay, Dark Horse MVP.
Okay, so our first Dark Horse MVP award from Coach Willie Wilson goes to Devin Booker.
Okay.
All right, Coach Willie, what can you say
Sorry,
about
let's also mention the second one because it's already up on the screen. Jello Vito picks Jason Tatum. All right, let's go with Coach Willie first.
All right, so we all know who the three favorites are. All right,
Yeah.
so Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis.
Yeah.
Why did I pick Devin Booker as a dark horse? Obviously, he's played the majority of the season without Ayton. Okay, they're the first place team with best record in the NBA, maybe, possibly. Finishing the season without Chris Paul, still maintaining that record and leading the team in scoring, assists, switches to point guard to finish out the season. That if that's not a dark horse MVP, I don't know what is.
All right, how about you, Jello?
I chose Jason Tatum because, again, he started slow. He started flat this season, but now he's picking up. Just scored 54 and 44 in the last two games.
Okay.
He's been leading, and he's becoming a two-way player for the Celtics right now. He's been playing. He's been a bucket, and now he's playing defense on the best player, the opposing team.
Yeah,
Coach Willie has something to say.
Hold on.
I don't even
What
have to
is
fight
the
yet.
definition of MVP? Most valuable player. Meaning, if you take that one player off of that team, the team plummets.
Yeah.
If you take Jason Tatum off of the Celtics, they still have who? Who do they have?
Jaylen Brown.
If
No,
you take
I
if you
agree
take
with that.
Booker off the Suns, who do they have?
CP3.
He's not there.
Although they
but
did
actually,
win.
terms
I
of the
actually
playoffs.
think that's a good. I actually think that's a good argument. But then at the same time, though, I would also argue that the most valuable player in that Phoenix team. A lot of people are saying Devin Booker now, but then when they're complete, I still think it's CP3.
Yeah, but I mean, we're still talking about dark horses. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't win an MVP
If you haven't played those games.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All
Okay.
right,
but-
I'd love to join in the conversation.
Yeah, you should, but it's not. We have too much time.
We can
But
go all
Jason
night.
Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
No.
Jason
All right,
Tatum.
He's like
guys,
fourth. They're fifth
We gotta
in the
settle
East.
down here. So let's go on to the next award, the Dark Horse Playoff
Okay.
Team.
Right,
So
right.
let's see.
We agree here. We
let's
agree
see
here.
who
Denver
the Dark Horse
Nuggets.
Playoff Team is. It's the Denver Nuggets for both Coach Willie
Yeah.
Wilson and Jello Vito. So at least you guys are aligned
Definitely
for one
not
of
the
the
Utah
awards.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Not the Utah Jazz.
Definitely not the Utah Jazz.
All right.
Okay,
Whatever.
Jello.
Just go on. Explain.
Jello, let's start first with you.
You know, they have that playoff experience.
Okay.
Kahit they're currently at the sixth spot, you know, and if ever playoff starts right now, they're gonna be playing a much younger Memphis Grizzlies. And with reports that MPJ and Jamal Murray will be returning before the before the start of the playoffs, they're gonna be a squad.
All right. How about you, Coach?
No, I agree 100% with what Jello said. And Jokic playing at a higher level than he did last season. And last season, obviously, he won the MVP with Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. coming back. I think they're one of the teams that nobody really wants to see in the playoffs with those two guys back and healthy. Without, they're a first-round exit.
You know, I just look at the Nuggets. I'm not denying that they are amazing. Jokic is, in my opinion, the MVP because he's just so great.
Yeah.
But then, I think you're asking too much if you're looking for a healthy Murray and a healthy MPJ because they're coming out from such a long injury layoff. I personally, if we're looking at dark horses, I'm going to look at Dallas because Luka is amazing. And they're actually better after the Porzingis trade. Sure, they lost today. Don't look at the results today, but look at how it happened in the past few weeks. And still, or I'm not even talking about my Jazz here. I'm just saying.
Nobody wants to talk about your Jazz.
The Jazz
Nobody
until
wants to talk about your
the
Jazz.
finals. Bea, go.
Kanina pa si Pa, ang daming feelings talaga. But sorry Pa, you're 2 versus 1 on this one. But let's go on to the next award that we have. It's the Dark Horse Playoff Superstar. So let's start things off with the award from Coach Willie Wilson. Coach Willie Wilson's Dark Horse Superstar is D'Angelo Russell. And then for Jalovita, we have Darius Garland. Coach Willie, take us through this one.
All right, so if we're talking about a superstar, we're talking about somebody that we do not expect. It's a dark horse superstar, somebody we don't expect to blow up. We look at the Timberwolves team, their Karl Anthony Towns team. Second in command would be Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Nobody really talks about D'Angelo Russell, but on that team, he's already had experience playing with Kobe. He's had experience playing with Steph. That experience and him in the playoffs this season, he just takes a piece from here, takes a piece from here. He controls the game, leads the team in assists. He controls where the ball goes. And we all know that he has what in his veins?
Ice in his veins. All right.
What about for you, Jello?
Darius Garland, his confidence has skyrocketed since that All-Star appearance.
Yeah.
Again, last night, a few nights back, he made the career high 41 points for the Cavs, and I really think that with the entire squad coming in together in come playoff time, they probably won't make it past the first round. But again, that experience that they're going to be gaining from that will surely be propelling them for the next few seasons.
You know, I'm not going to argue.
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
I'm not
I was
going to
just going
argue.
to say that
It's hard. It's hard to argue this because
exactly.
it's guys that you haven't really seen explode in the playoffs before, and that could change this time around. So I'm going to be polite and let's move on.
I know, and Pao, I want to wait for actually your answer to the next one because the next award, the Dark Horse Award that we have is for the Dark Horse Villain. And let's see your answers for the award from Coach Willie Wilson. It's LeBron James, and for Jello Vito, it's Kevin Durant. Now, Coach Willie, I really want to ask this. I mean, with the state of the Lakers and everything, we've been talking about them almost every single episode for the past few weeks.
You already
Why LeBron James?
When I'm here, the Lakers are somehow going to come up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The Grizzlies, the hottest team in the NBA right now. Right now, they're number 2 in the West. They will overtake the Phoenix Suns eventually, at the pace that they are going. John Morant, he is right now the world's darling. Okay, the next coming. LeBron and the Lakers will end up as the 8th seed. We'll see the Grizzlies as the 1st seed. What happened last season with Trae Young beating the Knicks, bowing to the crowd.
Yeah.
Whenever you beat the crowd favorite, which would be the Grizzlies, you become the villain.
Okay. How about you, Jello?
Interesting.
Well, for me, it's gonna be Kevin Durant just because they're first, they're having a bad season right now. They have the 8th seed.
Regular season wise.
Yeah. But when everyone's gonna be there, like when the vaccine mandate's gonna be lifted, Kyrie's gonna be playing every single game. Ben Simmons is coming in. Kahit sabihin natin na he's not in 100%, but he's still Ben Simmons. I really see that Brooklyn will blind other teams.
Yeah, you know, I look at that, and I actually think that Brooklyn have a point because there's so many feel-good stories. Look at Cleveland, look at Chicago, and you look at even the Sixers at some point. You're going to think that, hey, good stories, and then Kevin Durant's just going to kill them. Yeah. So, no, I think that that's true. Personally, you want to know my answer. The biased choice for me would be Rudy Gobert because everyone hates him. Because everyone hates him, and then he's going to lock someone up. No, but honestly, looking at the standings right now, my unbiased pick here, actually would be Russell Westbrook. Because Russell Westbrook, he's not going anywhere. And if the Lakers do win a series, or if the Lakers do end up getting out of the play-in, Westbrook has to play well. And if he plays well, he's going to be that guy.
Or,
you know what I'm saying?
the Lakers just decide not to play him.
So
win.
would you rather not
And
play Westbrook?
that is why they win. So
So your thing is that you don't think that the Lakers should even play Westbrook if they want to get to the next round. Okay.
An interesting line
they
from
do
Coach
so
Willie
much
Wilson.
better without him than with him.
Yeah, but isn't he a ceiling raiser though? If he plays well, the ceiling's higher.
Nah,
Oh.
LeBron and Anthony Davis
Okay,
is
all right, Jello?
as high as you need.
He played well this afternoon, and yet they still lost.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
we're talking about a series if ever it gets to it. Because one game, things can change. A guy can drop 50 and lose. We've seen that.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
so many things can happen. We
Russell's
have
not
less than
dropping
2 months.
anything.
No, he's not dropping anything.
Playoffs. You know, you guys, I know, we guys can go all night. Ang dami niyo sinasabi. Eh, may grabe, no? But
Oh
then,
my
thank you
goodness.
so much, Jello and Coach Willie. I really appreciate all your answers. And Pao, kumokontra or agreeing, we all love that as well.
Okay, all right.
But in the meantime, for all NBA fans out there, watch exciting NBA games and get a chance to win awesome prizes from Cignal. Just take a selfie with your TV while watching NBA games on NBA TV Philippines, One Sports, or TV5. Make sure that the channel logo is visible in your selfie. Then, go to Cignal's official website to register and submit your selfie. 30 lucky viewers will win digital gift cards from NBA Store Philippines. For more info, visit www.cignal.tv. This will happen from March 1 to April 11, 2022. Now, when we return, we'll get a sneak peek into our favorite PVL teams training for the upcoming 2022 Open Conference. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. You're watching The Game. In just 6 days, the Premier Volleyball League is making its way back on the hard court. And as early as now, the competition already looks intense with all of the player movements that we've seen. Tonight, PVL insider Ai Tinsay joins us to give us a sneak peek into how these revamped teams have been preparing for the upcoming Open Conference. Hi, Ai! Good evening and welcome to the show.
Musta, Ai? It's a long time, sobrang long time.
Long time and I missed you both.
Grabe. Okay, so you visited the bubbles, 4 different teams if I'm not mistaken. Kamusta naman yung experience na yun and actually seeing all these teams up close and as they get ready for the new season?
You know what, it's exciting and it's a different feeling because nga, last year we had a bubble in Ilocos and it was a big bubble with me together with all the teams in one place. And for me right now, parang for the past 2 days, I felt like I was going on a field trip. Kasi okay, punta tayo sa ganitong location, and when you enter, they have their own identity, they have their own environment, their own vibes and their own culture, and it's just so happy to inculcate myself within it. Tas parang, okay, malaman ko ano yung mga differences, strengths, advantages, and disadvantages ng teams.
Now let's get right to it, Ai. You know, starting off with the first team that you went to, PLDT. They have their new head coach and Coach George Pascua. How is the team so far adjusting to the new system of Coach Pascua?
Yes, and you know what? The fans are not just excited with new players, but
Yeah.
also with new coaching systems. And Coach George told me, you know what? This is my first time. I wasn't in Ilocos, and now my end goal is to actually embody the title of being a PLDT high-speed hitter. And when it comes to that, okay, ibig sabihin po ba nun, yung priority niyo is high speed? Sabi niya, talaga. At talagang,
Oo nga,
talagang
talaga
bilis
dapat.
yung focus nila when it comes to skills training, accuracy, precision, and speed. And it's exciting to see PLDT because they have UAAP stars, Mika Reyes, they have veterans, D-Mac, Heather Ginoo, and also Lady Eagle, Jules Samote, who are all happy to have found a home in PLDT.
Of course, again, revamped teams, ang sobrang dami. Actually, you visited most of the revamped teams out there. I want to talk about the next one since obviously time's a bit short. I wish we had a podcast, pero wala eh. Balipure Water Defenders. It just seems that, well, base sa yung mga kwentuhan and talking to different people, mataas yung moral nila going into this one.
And yun nga talaga, it's never a boring game with Balipure.
Never.
As in talagang lahat ng fans excited kasi they were rooting for them to go into the semifinals and into the finals. It's not because of their star factor, but they have a very unique factor, which is their endless positivity. Like kahit down sila 1 set, 2 sets, they are always laughing on court. And when I entered their training bubble, they were just nagkukulitan. And then Coach John were like, guys, tigil na, tama na yung tawa ng tawa, and then they just laugh and sorry coach, pero they just keep on playing and playing, and it's so exciting to see them on court with new faces, Joe Maraginot, and everyone else. Parang it's just, for me, there are very serious teams, pero there are teams that are entertaining to watch, and it's also good for the PVL.
You know, sabi nga ni Jo Marganot when we interviewed her last time na she's excited the most because, yun nga, alam niyang masaya lang talaga yung mga players ni Balipure. And you confirmed that. Now, let's go on to the next team, si Petro Gazz. Nagbabalik ang coach nila, si Coach Jerry Yee, no? So, currently with the new head coach, a lot of new players as well. Kamusta so far ang gelling ng team, ay?
And you know what, that's a very interesting story, Pao and Bea, kasi it's a story of coming home. And dahil nga madami silang returnees from the core of PVL 2019 Conference Champions, talagang makikita mo na sobrang solidified sila kasi sabi nga nila Jonas Abet and Janelle Cheng, they are happy to go back to a system na kinasanayan nila and kinalakihan nila. So given that, kita mo na yung gelling nila priority yun, okay na siya eh. So right now, it's more of their conditioning, their strengthening, and also their therapy, given nga na sunod-sunod yung leagues ng mga star players nila.
Yeah, you know, again, the fact that they're back together, that core is there, it gives them hope na sana they can see the same type of success in the next conference. But then let's move on now to Cignal, who have rejiggered, refurbished their team. And when I was actually asking different people about yung bubble nila, napaka-meditative daw eh. May konting contemplation that did happen. And syempre, they want to do a lot better than they did last conference. Tell us about yung preparations nila.
Actually, kahit ako, nainggit ako sa bubble nila kasi they were in a mountainous resort. And when we entered there, it was peace and quiet. And they were all like, they just looked at us and they were in a zen mode.
And zen mode, pero nagtataining hard sila.
Yes, and you know what, like si Coach Shaq, he said na, they're gonna be in a death pool given that they're gonna be in Pool A against 2 undefeated champions. And he said na, you know what, imbes na ma-intimidate kami, instead of the riveting anxiety that we can gather from these other teams, it's more of kahit hindi kami stars, it's more of their gelling. Kasi they started training ever since like last year. It's been months that they've been training hard. So sabi nila, it's their connection that's gonna be an advantage to the team. And moreover, they have the tools. They have best middle blocker Riri Meneses. They have multiple-time POG Grace Bombita. And of course, they have the veteran Rad, diba? Rachel Andaki. So for me, since they have these tools, if they utilize this right and use it to their connection, edi talagang they're gonna play somewhere far in the PVL, and everyone's excited to see that.
You know, you look at all these teams, you mentioned that each one has a different identity. Sa palagay mo ba makita ng mga fans once we actually start the conference?
And you know what, we are just 5 days away from PVL.
Countdown na talaga
finally.
Yeah, and I think the fans are there talaga.
For sure. And speaking of counting down, syempre a lot of people want to see what you're doing, invading these bubbles. Because you're not just visiting, you're actually there doing work. Can you tell us all a bit about it so our fans can finally see it?
And you know what, like if nabitin kayo sa kwentuhan namin ni Bea at saka ni Pao, abangan nyo ang aking bubble invasion where you will get a sneak peek inside the training of your favorite teams in the fast coming days.
Well, thank you so much, Ai. I'm sure everyone is just so excited.
We're not gonna see her for a while. She's gonna disappear.
She's gonna disappear in the bubble.
Into different bubbles. Pero ay, maraming salamat. We turn to you for the inside information on all our favorite teams, all the PBL teams, and we can't wait to see the work you do this conference.
Happy to serve.
I know. I am so excited as well. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bea Daes Fabros.
I'm Paulo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.